Estamos aquí con Jordi Fernandez, jugador del básquet Zaragoza, de Casademont Zaragoza. Es un placer tenerlo aquí junto a nosotros en Gigantes del Básquet para hablar un poquito de él, sobre su temporada, su reciente renovación con Casademont Zaragoza hasta 2027. Trey, nice to meet you. Happy to be here and share some minutes with you. This is a show called Basketball, according to, in which at the beginning of the show we start with the same question. So, what's basketball according to Trey Bell-HAYNES? So what does it mean, basketball, according to you?
Basketball according to me, competition. I think basketball according to me means competition. It means winning. It means going out there and playing your hardest no matter the situation. And then ultimately, it means fun. You're playing a game, so you go out there, you have fun, and hopefully at the end of the day, you do the things you can to win.
I would like to know how much it changed your vision of the game since you came here to Europe in 2018. You go back there to Canada and the US, but how much it changed the vision of the game?
Yeah, I think my whole outlook on like the way that you can play basketball after spending probably 2 or 3 years in Europe is completely flipped. Just the way I think about the game. I mean, growing up in Canada, you watch the NBA and you watch the Raptors, and it's a completely different style of basketball. And you don't really realize it until you're in it and you're playing. And I think I had a small taste my first year with Coach Jordi Herbert in Frankfurt, and kind of a wake-up call to this is something completely different. But I think now I love it. I love the European style or FIBA basketball much more than NBA basketball, and I'm really happy for how my career has gone so far.
You decided to play overseas after finish college in 2018, probably. But you come back to the US and Canada very early to play in the G League. What do you remember of that time? Those first steps in the professional basketball.
I remember my first couple months in Europe being like what I did in college. It didn't mean anything. Like you have to recreate who you are. You have to work even harder. You can't depend on your reputation or who you were, especially in college, because nobody really cares. Nobody knows. Every year, every team, you have to go out there and put your best foot forward in preseason to make your teammates and your coaches know what you're capable of. And then kind of going and playing in the G League especially kind of solidified for me that I wanted to play in Europe. It was one of my worst basketball experiences. I don't want to put down any of my teammates, but just not a very good environment to play basketball, to get better. So that for me kind of made me know, okay, Europe is going to be where I go to play and where I have to learn how to play that type of basketball.
Yeah, it happens that to so many players in the G League at the first time, because it's so different, that type of basketball. So many players, they want to play in the NBA, so they are fighting for a contract. So it's not the team basketball that we are used to know here, or even in the NBA and college. So that's very difficult to adapt to that situation.
Yeah, it's really hard. Obviously, like on any G League roster, there's 8-10 guys that are capable of playing in the NBA and that are fighting for their chance to play in the NBA. And kind of when you're in that situation, it's less about team and it's more about me, and it's more about what can I do to show the scouts, the staff, that I'm capable of playing in the NBA. And we kind of got into, I was on a team that we weren't good, so we were out of the playoffs. So the team was all the players were focusing on trying to impress and working towards like trying to get a call up and trying to get minutes on the NBA roster. And I understand it, especially now. I understand like you have to fight for your position, and you have to do it in the way that you think you're the best at. But for me, it was a situation that I just don't want to be a part of.
It's more like an AAU program.
Yeah, I think it's different because, like, say in Spain you have Leb Gold, and even though those guys are in the second division, there's a clear projection and there's a clear possibility for 2 teams to come into the first division. So there's lots of players that have a chance every single season. And then even even if you don't, there's a lot more opportunities for guys to come up. Like we have Jaime Fernandez, like I'm sure Lucas will be back with us next year. But in the NBA, when you're in the G League, like if you win the G League, it doesn't really mean anything. You don't go to the NBA, maybe nobody watches. And so you have to find a way to make people see you and watch you.
You're in no man's land.
Exactly.
We are talking a few weeks after you were resigning with Casademont Zaragoza, and you are signed until 2027, which is very unusual in European basketball, so that's so long-term contracts. How important was for you to establish yourself in a city, be one of the faces of the project, and find your place here in Europe?
It was really important. I think for North American players, Canadians and Americans, typically we bounce around 1 year in one country, 1 year in another country. And I played in Spain a couple years ago in Breogán, and I left. And after that, I knew that I wanted to come back to Spain and not leave Spain. And then after last year in Zaragoza, we signed the extension in the summer. It's a city that I love, the fans, my teammates, Sule, Santi, Miguel, like it's a great group of guys. And then when they brought up possibly doing another extension, it was kind of what I thought was right. Stability, less pressure when you know that you have one place to be, and it's where I wanted to be. I think we can do good things this year, but in the future as well. The club is very ambitious, and I'm ambitious. So I think it was a perfect marriage, and I'm happy that I'm here.
But in the weeks before, there were some rumors surrounding the team that you will probably sign with Barcelona because they have some injuries. How did you manage that noise, that rumors? Because it's very difficult to do it during the season. I think it's easier in the off season, but during the season, you are playing for one team and your name is on the tape on the newspaper, so it's kind of difficult, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I handled it too well. I think I started playing a little bit worse when people started talking about me and who I was, and I think a couple games I was distracted. But at the end of the day, they're just rumors. I'm really happy to be here, and if I wouldn't have signed the contract extension if I didn't want to be here. When Barcelona or Madrid, if your name is in the same sentence as either of those teams, it's a compliment. And to me as a player, it's a big compliment. But I'm a Zaragoza player. I was a Zaragoza player when the rumors came out, and so my focus is only here.
You mentioned the project, the environment of the team. What things motivated you to stay here, to have that confidence on the project?
Well, I think we can be a very good team in this league. I think with the team we have now, we can not surprise teams because I think teams know we have a ton of good players and we don't give teams an easy night. But I think we have what it takes to be a playoff team in this league. From obviously Dubi and Mango have been amazing all season so far. I think Suli is one of the best fours in this league and probably one of the most underrated players. And then Santi recently, everybody saw what he could do with the national team, and I go on, and then playing with Marco has been a gift as well. So I just think that we have what it takes. There are things that we need to continue to improve on, especially defensively, but I think when I sat back and looked at what we had as a team, what the managers were telling me for the future, I think everything is satisfied is like the least of it, and so I'm happy with being here.
One of the things that so many players have highlighted since they play here or they're playing right now here is the environment and the noise of the stadium. At this season, I remember the game against Baskonia, which you come back in the fourth, and the amazing start against Breogán a few weeks ago. But what's the key? What Porfi says to you before the game or during the game to have that explosion or that connection with the crowd?
I think when I first signed here, the word is Razmia, and it's like the heart, the grit, the unspoken, like what you fight for. And I think when the crowd sees that we're fighting, we're playing hard, no matter the score, but as long as we're competing, they're always behind us. And then we we give them a reason to make noise, to give us an advantage. And like you said, that Baskonia game, especially in the fourth quarter, they were another player for us. Like without them, we don't win the game. And I think we're really lucky to have fans that are as passionate as they are.
I was checking numbers, and right now you are fifth in total assists in Casademont Zaragoza ECB history. In a few games you will catch Rodrigo San Miguel, your coach, and maybe you will finish the season in third position. So that's race, I think. Why it looks so easy for you to get an assist?
It's not easy, but I mean, I think assists it's because of your teammates. I mean, if nobody makes the shot, your pass doesn't matter, right? And so I think that I've had really good teammates this year, last year, some like Thad, Mitch, Mark, guys that can really make shots and are really skilled, and then this year as well. So I think to be on a list with Rodri, and a lot of this is because of what he's teaching me as well, but to be on that list is amazing, and I'm really honored, and hopefully like you said, I can keep climbing. But as long as we're winning games, it's more important than any individual accolade.
Last season, before the end of the season, you mentioned that playing in European competition was important for you to stay. Now we are talking again after the win against Porto, which was the first of the second round. It's very soon. There are a lot of games ahead of us. Big games, big teams. How confident do you feel about this competition? Do you see yourself raising the cup at the end of this season?
That's the goal, and I think the president said it in the preseason welcome that was one of our goals as a team. But like you said, it's still really far away, and I think once you get into the elimination stages, it's more realistic to look at the end goal, because first we still need to qualify out the groups. But right now, our focus obviously is Andorra and Marusi, who we play next week. But I think we believe that we can do really well in this competition, and especially be better than we were last year. And so far, I think we have been. So raising the trophy, obviously, it's the ultimate goal. I'm not going to lie to you, but we're going to take it one game, 1 week at a time.
I will do one more question. You won the bronze medal in the World Cup in 2023 with Canada. Big accomplishment for you and your country. First time in so many years that Canada has the ticket to the Olympics. You didn't make the team, unfortunately. But I want to ask you about Jordi Fernandez. Now that we are watching him leading the Brooklyn Nets with a very short team, he's making an amazing job. How is Jordi as a coach? What makes him different?
He's really good. I think one of the things that stood out to him, and what I've noticed with our national team, is it's very hard, especially when the NBA guys come together to get the whole team to be one, is that he was able to relay a message and hold every single guy accountable on the team, from Shea to me, Phil Scrub, Dylan Brooks. It didn't matter. He had expectations, and he was consistent and held everybody to those expectations. And I think that was one of the reasons we were so good in the World Cup. But I mean, he's a really, really good coach. He knows so much offensively, defensively. He knows how to adapt, and I think we were able to show that in the World Cup. We played different styles against France, when we played against Spain, USA, obviously. But I think the sky's the limit for him, and I'm very happy that he got the opportunity with Brooklyn. Hopefully that doesn't stop him from staying with us and continue to coach us.
Well, thank you very much, Trey, for having us and for your time. So good luck for this next game and for the rest of the season.
Thank you.